My name is Dr. Faith Lichok Moralato. I grew up in Marlborough, New York, was living there in 1994, and currently I reside in Boston, Massachusetts. In June of 1994, I recall being at a party where a friend who was volunteering with Habitat for Humanity told us about an opportunity to attend the Woodstock 94 festival, something I'd heard of on the radio but never thought I would have the opportunity to attend. And she said that if we wanted to attend the festival, we would volunteer helping to man a booth which would raise funds for Habitat in exchange for a ticket. So I immediately thought to myself that I would never be allowed to go. At the time I was 16 years old, but I immediately went home and asked my parents, and much to my surprise, they agreed to let me attend. And I was flabbergasted, yet elated that I would get this amazing opportunity to go with my friends, volunteer with what I would come to know as a wonderful organization, and I did other things with them after that, and hear live music. So during the festival, I was living in the employee village, which was separate from the rest of the concert goers. And we had different shifts that we were required to work the booth. So I heard a lot of really awesome music, but wasn't actually able to see a lot of the music. I recall the first night, Friday night, which was a wonderful sultry summer night before the rain, hearing Sheryl Crow and the Violent Femmes. I got to see that live before there was a ton of people there. But probably one of the most memorable parts of the concert came on Sunday night on the North Stage. Was the last act of the North Stage was Peter Gabriel. And recently, when I learned that it was the 30-year anniversary, I was talking to my eldest daughter, who's nearly the same age as I was then, as she is now, and I was telling her about Peter Gabriel and really recalling fondly a memory I had that during the encore performance of In Your Eyes, there was candles that were passed out to all of us, and we each lit a candle and formed a peace sign in the middle of the field. And as I told my daughter this story, she had a sort of funny expression come up over her face, and she stopped me and she said, "Mom, that's impossible. You couldn't have had candles." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she said, "Well, why didn't you just hold up your cell phone?" And I had to remind her that cell phones were not in existence at that time. It was a funny generational exchange that we had where she learned something and I was sort of brought back to reality of today. During the festival, as I mentioned, I went with a group of friends. I didn't meet anyone new in particular, but I will say that I felt a ton of community. I felt very safe. My friends were a little bit older than me, and they really took care of me during that weekend. And it was an experience that has stayed with me, one that I felt very privileged to be able to be part of, and one that I've truly never forgotten.
When you came home?
So when I came home, I was excited to tell first my folks how wonderful the concert was. They were very worried about me because of what they heard on the news with the rain and how the gates were broken down, but I assured them that everything was fine. So they were the first people I told about the wonderful music that I experienced and the wonderful time I had. And then undoubtedly I called up several friends who were not able to attend, whose parents said no, so I could give them the scoop about how awesome the music was and what a great time I had. I jumped at the opportunity to be part of this project because of the fond memories I had that have stayed with me for the last 30 years of a young woman who would probably, and I would say never experience a festival of that magnitude, and to just be able to say what a wonderful experience it was, and how, again, how grateful I feel to have been part of it at such a young age, and just be part of history.